So previously this week, we talked about me being Peter's bestie, and
well, actually, we talked about Peter being your bestie, but it may not.
Way to crush a girl! Way to crush a girl!
He's not alive, so he may have opinions later.
Okay. Well, we were talking about these transformational statements we could make about Peter's life in this one moment as he's preaching on the streets on the day of Pentecost.
Yeah.
So cool.
And I think that's really helpful to think about his transformation and then to bring that into us personally. And so I'm asking Kami, like, okay, so what do you take from that? How do you see God transforming you over time through His Holy Spirit?
Man, this is a personal topic. Thanks, Janon.
Let's dig. Okay.
Let's dig. You know, what really resonates with me, I do really identify with Peter's personality. And you know, when I say he's angry and unpredictable and abrupt, I see those elements in my life pre-transformational process. And I see the Spirit of God working in me to smooth those edges and to take, you know, I think about that unpredictableness. Peter was so impulsive. I can be so impulsive. But you know, that impulsiveness potentially moved Peter to go out into the streets. You know, the power of that Holy Spirit could not be contained in a room. He was willing to move with it. And I think, I see over time my impulsive nature being driven to good and driven to God's purpose, that softening, that listening, and that changing for good.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love that you can look back and clearly see how that change is happening, because that's how we're encouraged to keep going, right?
I totally agree. What about you?
So I can see how a transformation I've seen over time is how I would see my identity through what I thought other people thought of me. Maybe their words or actions or inactions. I would just read all kinds of things into things that were real or not. It doesn't matter. But I think my transformation has been to really seeing my identity as a child of God, a daughter of the King, rather than needing all of that other stuff. And so, and I think that transformation is wonderful, but it also brings me so much more joy now. I think I used to live in a place of uncertainty, of shame or guilt, all of those things. Too much processing happening. Social processing. And now there's just security. And not all the time, but I see, like you were saying, softening the edges. I see that over time God has started to give me that security, that sturdiness that I feel building over time. And that leads to joy in His presence rather than just guilt and shame and all of those things. And that is truly a wonderful transformation I can only attribute to God.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.